Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. Today I'm going to go over C34 long range. One of the big questions I had was with attack. Having high attack would be very important when I switched back to long range, and the answer to that is no. Look at I only had 397 there. This person had 705. Still lost to me. That's the formation. As you can see, I don't have actually all the different back row troop types, and I'll get into the details, but I just wanted to show real quick for people who just wanted to see the general gist of what the formation should look like. This was another C34. You can see that's their main troop. They had some of those EMP cannons, but I don't know why. It's not a good idea to use that many. But the important part's really the damage stats, attack reduction. Same stats I talked about when I was a C30 to C33 mid-range player. To break it down, for long-range battles, a lot of it's about positioning. And what I mean by positioning is you want your cannons to be hitting at least one of their main troops, which their main troops should always be on defense. Oftentimes it's better to have a lot of those T11 soldiers, but really the T11 tanks, those are the main ones, and usually people have all four of them in the front row, so that would line your cannons up right with their T11 tanks so that they're hitting the main troops right off the bat. Wherever your main troop is where you want to line up your cannons. So if they only had like the T11 soldiers and T11 tanks, then I would probably say EMP cannons and T11 mortar cannons or what you want, because then your tanks you line them up right with the tanks. Because it's not really ideal hitting the T11 soldiers on defense because they always get the 50% on their first two attacks. So I definitely like hitting the tanks, which only have like 34% chance every time you attack them. So yeah, I think it's really about positioning, because if you don't position in the right place, like for example this guy, see how he wastes time attacking both. He attacks first my shredders, and then he attacks my armored shoulders. So he basically wastes like 2 full attacks before he starts attacking, my main troops. And that puts me at a huge advantage. The bad thing about removing all your snipers or whatever troop you choose to position your cannons either slightly to the left or slightly to the right is that the zombies would straight up attack when the zombies do that green special attack. That's like the most powerful attack both opponents have, because like the zombies are the strongest troop type, and they always hit the back row troop. So if you don't keep the snipers in, then you lose swallowing up one of those green attacks, and you want to swallow up because look how much damage it does. Because look, I killed like 2,400 of their T11 mortar cannons, which is like, what is that, over 10,000? It's like 12,000 units, while they wasted it on like how many, like 1,300 snipers it kills. Yeah, it killed only 1,300 snipers. So I saved like 20,000, assuming they had the same power zombies as I did. But see, 2,100 of them died even after being weakened a little, which is like over 10,000 units. So by having at least one different outer troop type to like however many you need to like be able to like survive enough so that it could swallow up a green attack, that's what you want. And then the rest of it's just making sure your cannons, because like there's so much other stuff like those stupid purple plane and Medici's special ability, and it causes things to misfire. And that, like oftentimes, like here's an example. I'll just show you how like more examples of people who have high long range attack and I still beat them. This guy had 357,000 units and I only had 328, and he had higher attack. But again, like I said, same stats that are important are the more important ones, because you have your zombies. Your zombies, you should be buffing up your zombies, by the way. But yeah, so here's the things. Like I usually beat this guy. I was in farm mode, so maybe that's why with my combined with bad luck, I lost. But literally, I just put an attack and defense buff, and I don't even think I needed that because it was the same exact formation. I didn't change really anything. And the real difference was that This time, his cannons were disabled and mine weren't. So there's just a lot of variation. So the only things you can really control is like lining up. Like that's a terrible formation. But sometimes people just don't give it, don't give a crap on defense because it's like, I mean, if they sit too long, then some like huge money spender is going to attack them anyways. But yeah, it's just about minimizing the bad luck, and a lot of that's just to position your cannons right where their main troops are. And you could play a guessing game, when you're on defense, you can only use 3 of them, like instead of just completely exclude the armored soldiers, the front row troops that are on the very slight left, just exclude them so you only have 3. That way that they're attacking instead of attacking your tanks right away, they'd be attacking your soldiers on defense. I'm usually too lazy to switch them out. Because like I mentioned, like at this point, like not even many people try to challenge me. Only the huge money spenders have spent like way more money. So I don't even bother flipping it out because it's like, even if someone did attack me, like, I don't know, I haven't been tried, but even if someone did try to attack me, it's like the marginal gain, even if I did successfully defend, like because the T11 soldiers were better, it's not going to make a difference because then in the end, like some huge money spender will just occupy me. So I'm too lazy to swap on defense. But yeah, since it's definitely advantage to be on attack because at least second time attacking, assuming you lose it the first time, because where their main front row is lined up, and so you can adjust you could adjust both. You could adjust your front line and you could adjust your back row troops to match where their main troops are. And I think that's really the main thing. And everything else is about the same. You just include this little 2,500 units of each other type so that like they can swallow up special hits. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. A lot of it, like I mentioned, but I really found out that long range is really boring. I find it, so I'm gonna switch like full on mid range. There's C35 because it's just more fun. Like you haven't expected, you're always gonna hit their back row troops. I feel like in long range, it's just more like brute force money spending at some point because those special abilities, it's not going to primarily attack the back row like mid-range does. So it's really a lot of variance. And probably the probabilities, they say it's like, like for example, 2% chance of block if you buy those polar event Aeon suit. And 2%. But, if you're going to go up against a money spender, even if it says like 5%, or 10%, like it's going to be even higher than that because like the game can control like the probability. So I really doubt, and probably if I spent more money than their opponent, that's going to be higher. What the plane and stuff disables, they can control. So like, I don't know. I feel like you don't know exactly what the special abilities are going to do. It could be random. It could be a wonderful like hit on their back row troops, in which case you're advantage just because sheer luck, or it could just hit. It could end up wasting on their stupid golems or front row. So like, I don't know. It's like, at least with mid-range, I know I'm going to hit the back row troops because that's what it does. And I'm not really during the K anymore. I'm not like I'm not on the main alliance, like joining group attacks. So like mid-range is also better for solo attacks. And it's just like better in general because it's targeting backward troops. Most people are long range, so you're just gonna have it's just gonna be more fun. And I've already, I had my time with Medici event and all the stuff that long range is better at, and I don't really care for being good at those things anymore. I'll just have fun with the mid-range uranium mines because this game is like very repetitive. So like the only thing I find interesting nowadays is basically uranium mines and maybe Elite Wars like a good Elite Wars is nice. But anyways, that's it. Hope y'all have a good Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate.